Hello my dear students, I am Dr. Archana Pandit. Today we are going to learn the prose piece Playing the English Gentleman by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. This is an extract taken from his autobiography My Experiments with Truth. So let us begin with introduction. He was born in a small community in coastal Gujarat and he rose to become the leader of modern India, spearheading India's freedom struggle and winning independence for the nation from the British rule. It was long and difficult struggle, but with the unusual weapons of ahimsa, that is non-violence, and satyagraha, that is truth force, he, along with other freedom fighters, brought a long era of colonialism to an end. He first used his non-violent civil disobedience techniques in South Africa in his fight against the dominant British rules. So we can say that he started his career as a freedom fighter in South Africa, where he worked as a lawyer, but he fought against the British rules in South Africa also, and later he became the leader of India's freedom struggle. After his return to India, he organized protest against land taxes and racial discrimination. He built up an awareness of human rights, women's rights, and religious and ethnic equality. Both in India and the rest of the world, he is affectionately known by the sobriquet Mahatma. All of us, we call him Mahatma or Great Soul. His name is synonymous with simplicity, non-violence, and noble leadership. So in short, we can say that he gave the principles to the world of non-violence and satyagraha. He fought India's freedom struggle with these principles in his mind, and we got the freedom from the British Empire or from the British rule after 150 years under his able guidance. Not only he fought for India's freedom struggle, but he also fought for the equality, for the women's rights, human rights, and religious and ethnic equality also. And therefore, he was given the sobriquet Mahatma or the Great Soul. And today we know him for his simplicity, non-violence, and noble leadership. So what is given in this prose piece, or what he has written in this prose piece? A man of truth that Gandhi was. As we all know that he loved the truth utmost. His writings are deeply imbued with the honesty and fearless self-examination. It is very hard to do, my students, self-introspection and putting it frankly in front of all the readers or all the whole world. But it was done by Mahatma Gandhi. This statement is especially true of this prose piece, which also has subtle touches of humor in its depiction of the young Mohandas' attempt to become a typical English gentleman. What is written or recorded in this prose piece is that when Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was young, how he strived, how his attention was focused upon to become a typical English gentleman when he was in England. The language used is simple, straightforward, not ridden with cliché or aphorisms, and hence full of clarity and precision. In simple and straightforward words, he has given the truth, or he has put forward the truth in front of the readers. The piece is taken from My Experiments with Truth, his autobiography, and this is a wonderful record of all his successes, failure, strength, and failings. This essay tells us to what lengths he went to imitate the English, till he eventually came to realize his own worth and individuality. So, this is the infatuation of a young man. When Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was young, when he was studying in England for his degree of law, at that time he was very much impressed by the English gentleman, and he wanted himself to be get converted into an English gentleman, and he strived very hard for that. He tried to learn many new things like dancing, French language and whatnot, but at the end he realized that he had come to England not to do all these things, but he had been there, or he is there for his education, and he later on concentrated on all these things or acquiring his degree. So this frank episode from his life is recorded in this prose piece. So let us go towards the text. So this is the text, my dear students. My faith in vegetarianism grew on me from day to day. We all know he was the greater experimenter, we can say. He did many experiments with his own body in his own life, and one of the main experiment he did was vegetarianism. The result of reading books, and why he did all these experiments on vegetarianism, because he has read the books about vegetarianism and he was very much impressed with those books. The result of reading books on vegetarianism was that experiment with my diet came to take an important place in my life. Health was the principal consideration of those experiments to begin with. Why he started doing all these experiments on vegetarianism? The main concern was his health. He wanted to keep his health or to improve his health while he was in London or England. Meanwhile, my friend had not ceased to worry about me. His friends who were with him, maybe in his room or maybe in his college, they were very much worried about his health, because Gandhiji experimented with vegetarianism, and in that cold weather, how he would survive, this was the main worry or the concern of his friends. His love for me led him to think that if I persisted in my objection to meat eating, Gandhiji had a great objection to meat eating. He was purely vegetarian person. I should not only develop a weak constitution but should remain an outcast, because I should never feel at home in English society. There were two reasons why his friend was insisting upon his meat eating. First concern was regarding his health, because in the cold weather it is very necessary, his friend thought it is very necessary to have meat in the diet. And the another concern was that he will remain an outcast. English society will not accept the vegetarian person, purely vegetarian person. That was another second concern why his friend insisted that Gandhiji should eat meat. When he came to know that I had begun to interest myself in books on vegetarianism, he was afraid lest this study should muddle my head, that I should fritter my life away in experiments. So his friend was really worried about Gandhiji, and he thought that if Gandhiji continued the experiments and the reading regarding vegetarianism, then his health will be affected, and even he would remain an outcast in the English society. Forgetting my own work and become a crank. He therefore made one last effort to reform me. So here Gandhiji has depicted one incident where his friend made an effort. He made an effort to convert him into non-vegetarian person. He one day invited me to go to the theatre. Before the play, we were to dine together at the Holborn restaurant. To me, a palatial place and the first big restaurant I had been to since leaving the Victoria Hotel. So his friend invited him to go for the theatre. They were going to watch the play over there, and before that, they were going to have the dinner at the Holborn restaurant. And this was the first, you can say, a huge hotel which Gandhiji has visited during his stay in England. The stay at that hotel had scarcely been a helpful experience. So earlier he was living in the Victoria Hotel, and that experience of living over there was not very good, for I had not lived there with my wits about me. The friends had planned to take me to this restaurant, evidently imagining that modesty would forbid any questions. Why his friends have invited him to this particular restaurant? That modesty, because due to some mannerisms, Gandhiji will not ask any questions when the food will be served in front of them, and he would eat meat. This was the plan made by the friends. And it was a very big company of diners, in the midst of which my friend and I sat, sharing a table between us. So now they are at the Holborn restaurant, dining over there. The first course was soup. I wondered what it might be made of, but dared not ask my friend about it. So there was 3 course, 4 course meal, and the first course was soup. And Gandhiji didn't dare to ask whether the soup is vegetarian or non-vegetarian. Therefore, he summoned the waiter. He called the waiter. My friend saw the movement and sternly asked across the table what the matter was. His friend was very much disturbed, and he asked, "Why are you calling the waiter? Why are you asking something to the waiter?" With considerable hesitation, I told him that I wanted to inquire if the soup was a vegetable soup. "You are too clumsy for decent society." And what was the comment given by his friend? "You are too clumsy. You are not too good for this decent society. I had invited you for the dinner, and you are insulting me by asking whether the soup is vegetarian or non-vegetarian," he exclaimed passionately. If you cannot behave yourself, if you cannot behave yourself, you had better to go. Feed in some other restaurant and wait for me outside. This delighted me. This was the comment. What his friend suggested him? It is better to go and feed in some other restaurant. Out I went. There was a vegetarian restaurant close by, but it was closed. So I went without food that night. See the stubbornness of Mahatma Gandhiji. That night he went without food, but he didn't eat any non-vegetarian food as the vegetarian restaurant outside was closed. I accompanied my friend to the theatre, but he never said a word about the scene I had created. The scene which was created by Mr. Gandhiji by asking whether the soup is vegetarian or non-vegetarian. The friend was very much disturbed, but he didn't utter a word while they were watching the play. On my part, of course, there was nothing to say. Gandhiji said there was no explanation on my part. That was the last friendly tussle we had. That was the last friendly fight, you can say, they had. It did not affect our relations in the least. They were very good friends, so that incident never affected their friendship. I could see and appreciate the love by which all my friends' efforts were actuated. Because whatever the efforts his friend did, it was only because out of love, out of concern he had for Mr. Gandhi. And my respect for him was all the greater on account of our differences in thought and action. See, this is the true friendship. The two friends, they had differences in thoughts and actions. They never agreed upon vegetarianism or non-vegetarianism, but their friendship was never affected afterwards. But I decided that I should put him at ease, that I should assure him that I would be clumsy no more, but try to become polished and make up for my vegetarianism by cultivating other accomplishments which fitted one for polite society. So what Mr. Gandhiji decided after that day, that if I am unable to eat non-vegetarian food, I will not make any more show, and I will try to become the English gentleman by achieving some other things which are necessary to fit in the English society, in the English polite society. And for this purpose, I undertook the all too impossible task of becoming an English gentleman. And he undertook the task to become an English gentleman, which was highly impossible for him. The clothes after the Bombay cut that I was wearing, the clothes after the Bombay cut that I was wearing were, I thought, unsuitable for English society, and I got new ones at the Army and Navy stores. So he purchased a new suit at the Army and Navy stores. I also went in for a top hat costing 19 shillings, an excessive price in those days. He also purchased a costly hat of 19 shillings for him because these were the efforts made by him to appear as an English gentleman. Not content with this, I wasted 10 pounds on an evening suit made in Bond Street. So he was not satisfied with one suit. He purchased another suit of 10 pounds on the Bond Street, the center of fashionable life in London. Bond Street is one of the center of the fashionable life in London, and got my good and noble-hearted brother to send me a double watch chain of gold. So he also insisted his brother back in India to send him a double watch chain of gold. So he also demanded something from his brother. It was the watch with a chain of gold. It was not correct to wear a ready-made tie, and I learned the art of tying one for myself. Gandhiji, a completely Indian person, he was unable to wear the tie, ready-made tie. It was not good. Therefore, he learned the art of how to make a knot of tie. While in India, the mirror had been a luxury permitted on the days when the family barber gave me a shave. See, back in India, at his native place, the mirror was just a luxury, maybe on Sundays when the family barber came to shave the people in the family. Here I wasted 10 minutes every day before a huge mirror. See what Mr. Gandhiji is saying. He wasted 10 minutes observing himself, observing his reflection, whether he has wore the suit perfectly, whether how is the knot of the tie, how is his hairstyle. So he wasted 10 minutes every day before the huge mirror, arranging my tie, parting my hair in the correct fashion. My hair was by no means soft, and every day it meant a regular struggle with the brush to keep it in position. Each time my hat was put on and off, my hand would automatically move towards my head to adjust my hair. So my dear students, you can see or you can imagine that even Mr. Gandhiji, while he was young, he was indulged, he was engaged more in the physical appearance, but later on he went away from all these things and he concentrated on the other developments, his education and the spiritual developments, and later on he became the leader of the India's freedom struggle. So he has that. What is more important thing is that he learned through the mistakes and he has accepted those mistakes in his autobiography, My Experiments with Truth. As if all this was not enough to make me look polished, I directed my attention to other details that were supposed to go towards the making of an English gentleman. Not only his dressing style, hairstyle was sufficient for him, he also focused on other details to become an English gentleman. I was told it was necessary for me to take lessons in dancing, French and elocution. So these are the three arts which are very necessary to become a perfect English gentleman, that is dancing, speaking French, and elocution, the oratory. French was not only the language of the neighboring France, but it was the lingua franca of the continent, over which I had desired to travel. So, lingua franca is the connecting language or the language which was used in the European continent in those days. Mind, my dear students, at that time, English was not the lingua franca, but French was the lingua franca. And he had a dream, Gandhiji had a dream to travel over the European continent, and for the sake of communication, it was very much necessary for him to learn French. He thought like that. I decided to take dancing lessons at a class and paid down £3 as fees for a term. Even he paid the fees for the dancing class. I must have taken about 6 lessons in 3 weeks. But it was beyond me to achieve anything like rhythmic motion. But he could not improve his dancing skills. I could not follow the piano and hence found it impossible to keep time. So he couldn't follow the rhythm of the piano and he was unable to take or learn the dancing steps. What then was I to do? I thought I should learn to play the violin, and he joined another class of playing violin in order to cultivate an ear for Western music. He thought if he is unable to learn the dance, he can learn the violin and he can develop an ear for the Western music. So I invested £3 in a violin and something more in fees. I sought a third teacher to give me lessons in elocution. So he joined dancing class, French class, elocution class, violin class, and he was investing money in the form of fees in all these classes. I sought a third teacher to give me lessons in elocution and paid him a preliminary fee of Guinea. He recommended Bell's Standard Elocutionist as a textbook. Even his elocutionist teacher gave him a textbook, Bell's Standard Elocutionist, How to Become a Good Elocutionist, which I purchased and began with the speech of Pitts. So even he started reading that book to improve his elocutionary skills. But Mr. Bell rang the bell of alarm in my ear and I awoke. But one day the bell rang in his ears. My dear students, our conscious tells us many a times what is right and what is wrong. The same thing happened with Mr. Gandhi also, and the alarm bell rang in his ear. But here it is important that he listened to that bell. Many a times we ignore it. I have not to spend a lifetime in England. What was that alarm bell telling him? You are not going to spend your whole lifetime in England, I said to myself. What then was the use of learning elocution? I am investing in elocution, I am investing in dancing, but I am not going to stay over here for a lifetime. So what is the use of learning elocution, and how could dancing make a gentleman of me? And he wondered how dancing skills can make a gentleman from one person. The violin I could learn even in India. It is possible to take the lessons of the violin back in India also. I was a student, he realized, and he listened to his mind which was telling him that why you are here, why you have come here, you have come here for your studies. I was a student and ought to go on with my studies. And what is the main duty of the student? The main duty of the student is to study hard. I should qualify myself to join the Inns of Court. I am here to become a good lawyer, and therefore I should learn the law. I should concentrate on my studies first. If my character made a gentleman of me, so much the better. Automatically, if I will concentrate on my study, my character will develop and a gentleman will come out of it. Otherwise, I should forego the ambitions. These and similar thoughts possessed me, and I expressed them in a letter which I addressed to the elocution teacher, requesting him to excuse me from further lessons. As the alarm bell rang in his mind that whatever you are doing, whatever you are investing money, whatever you are demanding from your brother back in India, though he is providing you, all this is wrong. You are here in England for further studies to become a lawyer. So this is your first duty, to become a good student, to study in detail, to be a good lawyer, and not to become a good English gentleman. And therefore he wrote the letters to all the teachers and declared that he will not continue his classes anymore, the classes of French, elocution or dancing. I had taken only 2 or 3. I wrote a similar letter to the dancing teacher and went personally to the violin teacher with a request to dispose of the violin for any price it might fetch. Even he sold out his violin for any price it would fetch. It didn't matter for him now. She was rather friendly to me, so I told her how I had discovered. See here, the word discovery is very much important. When someone tells you that this is wrong, you should not do this, we feel that why this person is instructing me, why should I listen to him, who is he, who is she to tell me something like this. But whenever you discover, whenever you introspect, whenever you do self introspection and you realize and you discover that I am pursuing a false idea, whatever I am doing, it is wrong. Whenever someone realizes this thing, that is the true realization, and then we can change the path and we can be on the right path of our life. The same thing happened with Mahatma Gandhi ji. She encouraged me in the determination to make a complete change. Even the teachers over there helped him to make a complete change. This infatuation must have lasted about 3 months. Infatuation is a passing affection. It remains for you can say for few months or few days. So he loved to be an English gentleman only maybe for 3 months. So this infatuation to become an English gentleman remained with him only for 3 months. The carefulness in dress persisted for years. The dressing sense persisted for years, but henceforward I became a student. So this is the conversion, or this is, you can say, the change which happened in the mind of Mahatma Gandhi ji while he was in England. In the beginning he felt that he should be an English gentleman, but after 3 months he realized that why he is there to be a good student of the law, and he became a good student afterwards. So we can learn from this lesson, what we can learn from this lesson, that if you are strong by mind, if you have decided by yourself that I will do this, it is very much possible for anyone to achieve any goal in our life. Though your friends are insisting you to do many other things, to invest in luxury, to follow other paths, if you are strong, if you are determined, if you are stubborn that I am not going to follow those paths which are wrong, but I will follow the right path which my mind tells me, which my conscious instructs me. And yes, it is very much okay if you commit mistakes sometimes, but learning from mistakes and not repeating those mistakes once again, that is very important. And once you have decided that this is my right path, or pursuing your dreams, that becomes more important. So this is the message given in this lesson, Playing the English Gentleman. I hope you have understood the lesson. Thanks for watching.